The holidays hit different after a loss. It's not just the first one. It's every single one of them after that. For me at least. This episode's about that. What it means to live through the holidays without your loved one. We're going to talk about how things shift, new traditions come up, old ones live on. Hey guys, before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that we've opened up for submissions. So if you have a story about loss, about healing, about your loved one that you lost, I'd love to hear it. And we might even feature it on a future show or maybe even have you as a guest on our show. So using the link in the description or any of the links in our bios on our socials, you can submit your story there. And I'm really looking forward to reading them. And thank you in advance for being vulnerable and open with me and sharing with me. Let's jump into today's episode. Little disclaimer. We talk about loss. We talk about grief. I just want to remind you that it is okay if you can't listen just yet, because guess what? We're not going anywhere. Speaking of, if you're tuning in on YouTube, remember, subscribe, turn on that little notification button for a little kiss from me on your forehead every time we drop a new episode. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? I remember the first Christmas without my mom really felt it's just different, right? And I don't even think different's the right word. That's where I took such a long pause just now. It just felt like there was constantly something missing on that day. And I feel like that's kind of the theme in life when you experience a loss, is like something always feels like it's missing. But for me, Christmas specifically felt so different because my mom loved Christmas. All right. She was the Christmas miracle. She was the Christmas girl. She brought out the special plates. She put up these massive trees, which we'll get into a little bit later because that's a really funny story that I have to tell you. But my mom was the Christmas queen and she really loved Christmas. Her love language was gift giving, and she loved to give a gift to a point where you would pick up a specific gift and she'd sit there all excited, waiting for in anticipation for you to unwrap the wrapping paper, until years later she found out that Amazon does gift wrapping. So we didn't really get to take the paper off at that point. But anyways, she loved Christmas is what I'm trying to say. She loved the Christmas food. She loved the Christmas trees. She loved the garland around the staircase. All of those things was something that brought her a lot of joy. And so when Christmas came around after she died, all of those things were just missing, and they just weren't the same because she really was the magic touch of the holidays. I feel like it's so interesting because as the years go on, I now find I have this mix of nostalgia, but also resistance. And it's really bittersweet in a way because I get to remember her and I get to remember her on the holiday, but she's not there like she should be. For me, the first holiday really was shock and survival. You wake up and you just really do what you're quote unquote supposed to do, right? You wake up, everyone goes downstairs and opens gifts, and then you have breakfast, and then you hang out all day and watch movies or whatever you do. You know, some people go to church, some people, I don't know what you do. We didn't grow up in a place with snow, so we didn't have that privilege of white Christmas. It was more like ice everywhere. Whatever your Christmas tradition was, is just what you wake up and you're supposed to do. For us, we did just that. We woke up, we opened gifts, which, by the way, I love my dad. He gives great gifts, but nowhere near my mom. And he would agree to that. He would agree with me on that. And she always gave like the best gifts. So I remember one year, all of my family was there, including her sister and her sister's family and my mom's parents, my grandparents and my family. And we're all sitting there. All of us had the same box. So I opened, and we would go around. So each person would open one gift at a time. Everyone's opening a gift at one time. Gosh, anyways, we did that every year. So we pick up a box, and I'm opening this box, and it's a Yeti cup with my initials on it. And then my sister opens the same box, and it's a Yeti cup with her initials on it. Everybody got a Yeti cup with their initials on it. The next year, we all had the same box. I open it. It's a tote bag with my initials on it. Everybody got a tote bag with their initials on it. It was just like, it was cute because she gave you things that you wanted and that you asked for, but there was always things trickled in that she knew that you needed, and that would bring you joy. And I loved that. So anyways, the first Christmas that we had after she passed was so interesting because it was just different, you know, like We didn't get the socks and underwear that we always got. My sister and I always laugh about that because she called me not too long ago and she was like, hey, when's the last time you bought underwear? Because mom was always the one that bought our underwear. Gabri, you're an adult. I get it. It was just crazy because that year just wasn't the same. The Christmas tree was up and it was decorated, but it didn't have her touch to it. It's so funny too. I think back a lot on Christmas because she would always make us hang up our specific ornaments. So each of us 3 kids had our specific ornaments from when we were kids that we made at like preschool, and they are still in the family. So we would always have to put up our specific ornaments that were ours. And I remember giving her so much for it. I would never want to do it. I remember we were always just so not willing to just put the ornaments up on the tree with her. And that's something I really regret. It's something that makes me sad every single year when I'm putting the ornaments on the trees. I just never had the opportunity to do it with her because I was just such a knucklehead. But it's funny, my ex-boyfriend's mom, I brought that up to her one year and she switched my perspective and she was like, you know what's actually so cool, Gabri, is that actually became her tradition. Was like waiting for you kids to give her and like waiting for you guys to complain that she was asking you to. And I can almost guarantee it brought her joy every year. And I was like, that's a really sweet way to look at it. But the first holiday really is shock and survival. So you go downstairs, you do what you're supposed to do. You overcompensate with happy emotions, trying to just mask the weight of the intense sense of missing something and missing someone's presence that's there. It's crazy because people mean well, but it feels like their holiday cheer is sharp. Their merry is like, oh, you want to be merry? Like Merry Christmas. I'm like feeling a little actually a bit bah humbug right now, actually. Like, where's my knight and gown? I am Ebenezer Scrooge. It's Ebenezer, right? Yeah, I am Ebenezer Scrooge. I would just remember feeling like I had to show up for my family. It was sweet because all of us kind of showed up for each other in that way. You know, we didn't really have to, but that was sweet. I just remember opening presents and we always had to gather all of our things and take them to our rooms after. And my dad lives in Tampa now, and my sister and I usually share a room when we're there, which is fine because I like to snuggle her. We go to take our stuff upstairs and I put everything down. I just remember just sitting down on the bed and breaking and just sobbing and just feeling so sad that the tradition that we were so used to for so long is no longer. And I just remember trying to bring those traditions back in, but them just not fitting anymore. And I was really sad about that. And it's okay to feel sad about it. It's different and it's change, and change hurts. But it's interesting to look back on it now because we have new traditions together that we do. And year 1 comes and goes and it's hard and you need to get through it and give yourself a pat on the back when you get through that, because although it's a happy holiday, it's not always happy for some people, and you survived it, and I'm proud of you. That's not an easy thing to do. It's actually a really hard thing to do. So just do your best and know that it's okay to not be that strong. Nobody expects that from you, and you shouldn't expect it from yourself. First year comes, first year goes. You survive it, you get through it, and then year 2 comes. And then year 2 carries like the weight of the memories that you had. So it shifts from surviving to carrying the weight of the memories, the ache of realizing that, wow, it's already Christmas again. And we're getting through this again without her. That kind of novelty of firsts is gone, but so is the adrenaline that carried you through the first year, and everyone else moves on. I feel like even people, nobody ever really moves on, but like even people in your extended family, like I don't think they ever move on and they always feel the weight, but it's just different. Like people just kind of move on and move forward. And the traditions of the first time that you do things together on the second holiday feels strange. It doesn't feel like a sacred tradition that you all do because it's so new. So it just feels kind of off because you're trying to initiate these new traditions, but they just aren't actually necessarily traditions because it's the first year of you having to do it. You know what I mean? Something that I thought would hurt less on the second year was walking into my dad's condo and seeing the Christmas tree. I feel like, because it was her Christmas tree. Quick side tangent. We lived in a house growing up that had these really, really tall ceilings. I'm talking like huge ceilings. So one year, my mom decides to get a 18-foot Christmas tree. Yeah, you heard that right. 18-foot Christmas tree. And we somehow get it in the house after taking it off our family's Suburban. And we put it up. And my dad didn't get the right size stand for this Christmas tree. It was just, we used the same the stand that we have had. So we didn't have a big enough stand for this tree. And we're put it up and it's standing up fine. We're putting up the ornaments and it literally fell onto my sister in our living room. And we were all laughing so hard we couldn't pick up this Christmas tree. And my mom included laughing at my sister. I kid you not, the tree fell in slow motion on her and she just disappeared into this Christmas tree. So eventually she didn't want to do the real Christmas tree anymore. I don't know. I guess everyone goes through a phase of the real Christmas trees are no longer that fun. My mom ends up buying this fake Christmas tree. And my dad still has the Christmas tree, obviously, and he puts it up and it just felt so weird. It was like the first thing that I thought would like hurt less. I thought it would bring me joy, especially year 2. And it just, I don't know, it's kind of hurt. It just was a reminder. Like I said, she had this magic touch with it and made it look so extravagant. And I think my dad does a great job. All right, Dad, if you're listening, you do a great job. That's not what I'm saying. But it was just interesting. It was just made me sad to see because it just wasn't the same. And something else that surprised me that brought me a lot of peace was being together. And I think that that's such an underrated thing. So, like I said, and I told you before, my dad lives in Florida, my brother lives in Missouri, my sister lives in Colorado, and I live in California. So, we're literally across 4 different time zones. And it's really hard to get together. And so, something that brought me a lot of peace was just being in their presence because every time I'm around them, I get another piece of my mom. And that just brought me so much peace and so much joy. The second year really is quieter, but I feel like it's heavier because all of the things that distracted you from the first year are kind of gone. And it's almost like the grief had time to really breathe, not just for me, but for my family as well. So it was just really interesting. Year 2 was a lot of carrying the weight of memory opposed to just trying to get through it. Now we get into years 3 through 5. I'm only on year 4 and we haven't even had year 4 yet. But year 3 for me, I might actually cry telling you this, but I actually went and spent Christmas at my sister's in Colorado. My brother was with my sister-in-law's family and my dad couldn't travel because he had to work, but he has his family in Tampa, so he spent it with them. And I went and spent Christmas with my sister in Colorado, and it was probably my favorite Christmas that I had had since my mom died because we just sat and talked with each other, hung out together, and saw Colorado and went to the mountains and saw the snow. And it was just so fun and amazing. It almost was kind of the start of the rebuilding of the holidays for us. New traditions really started forming by accident where we make these pumpkin spice martinis with our espresso machines and put the little beans on, and we make them every single year, and that's our Christmas drink. And then we switched to mimosas obviously after, but it was so cute because that's something that we really look forward to now is finding a new espresso martini recipe that we build together, and we make them look really beautiful. And we drink too much and order pizza at night, but that's a story for another time. But it's interesting because you have this guilt of enjoying yourself again and enjoying the holidays again with the knowledge that she's not there, and it really kind of sets in that she's not coming back and the holidays are never going to be the same without her. But you get to rebuild them. But it does come with this guilt of enjoying yourself and moving forward. Not moving on, but moving forward. And yeah, we like switched things up. We went to a new city. We saw new things. We did new things together. And we always try to honor her by playing her favorite music, her favorite Christmas album, the Michael Bublé Christmas album specifically. Dare I say the best Christmas album of all time? Argue with me in the comments if you want. But my point is that you can still honor them on the holidays by bringing their traditions into what you're doing as you start to rebuild your own traditions. I think year 3 made me realize that holidays can be something different now, and that's okay. It's something slower, something smaller, something more honest. And it's really beautiful to reflect on the childhood Christmases that we were able to have with her. It's funny. I always feel like moms really bring the magic into holidays. I'm not a mom, so I don't know. But if you're a mom out there listening, the work that you put in, shout out to the dads too, okay? It's no hate to the dads, but like, we all know the magic is in the mom's touch, right? Like the magic that you bring. Like I see moms doing the little elves on the shelves or making snow footprints throughout their house to make it look like Santa was there with the snow. Those things mean so much when you get older. And it's been such a gift to reflect back on the things that my mom did for us growing up. Now that she's not here, it holds so much more meaning. And those things I will never forget. I will never forget, and we will never forget. And we'll never forget them because we always talk about them. So I encourage you, talk about the things that she would do on Christmas that meant a lot to you. Talk about the things that they would do, and talk about them with joy and with love, and let them bring you emotion. The day is emotional. Holidays become emotional. They go from joy to emotional, but those things can coexist at the same time. So I just encourage you to bring it up and talk about it and allow the emotions to flow, because it's a part of it. It's an important part of it. With all this being said, there are years that sneak up on you. There are moments that sneak up on you on holidays that hit harder for no clear reason. You have unpredictable years. So when I think about holidays, I think about unpredictable years in a way that you might have one year that feels peaceful and happy and less heavy. And then the next year it wrecks you again. I feel that way with my birthday a lot. One year is fine. The next year I'm a wreck all day long. And that's why I believe that progress really doesn't apply to grief. And so if you have a really good holiday one year and you don't the next, grief does not follow a calendar. Progress doesn't apply to grief, like I said. And there's new changes, new triggers, new losses that can occur within that year that cause the holiday to be more intense again. And that's okay. Understand that that's okay. It's not moving back, it's moving forward, right? And as you move forward, new things are going to come up. It's not a setback. It's just an opportunity for you to grow and heal even more. It's important that you give yourself grace, and it's important that you give yourself peace and permission. It's okay if one year is full of laughter and the next is full of tears. It's okay to skip traditions. It's okay to bring them back later. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to outgrow grief in some ways. It's okay to return it in others. Grief is not linear, and it's ever changing. It's a roller coaster. You're up and down, you're loop-de-looping, and that's the gift in all of it. I just remember the first time I felt truly okay on a holiday, even if it was for a moment, especially on the first year. Recognize that feeling and really understand what it looks like for you. Maybe journal it. Journal what your day looked like. I really loved my journal journey. Maybe one day I'll share them with you. I remember journaling my first year about all the things I missed that she would bring. The next year, it looked a little bit better, and then a little bit better, and a little bit better, So like maybe journal about it and write down your thoughts, write down how you were feeling. And it's a really special thing to look back on. So my point is like, make sure that you give yourself permission to evolve, even if that evolving looks like a backtrack, because it's never a backtrack. It's a blessing to revisit those feelings. That's really just what makes every holiday different and more sacred, is the emotion that it brings. So like, make your new traditions, bring back the old ones, even if they're not on the first year. And I'll encourage you, if you want to bring them back, do it. Don't wait for somebody else to. Take the stance and just bring the tradition back if you want. I might bring the tradition back of making my siblings put their ornaments on the tree and listening to them complain about it. I know it's hard, and I know it's weird, and I know it's different to not have them by your side through the holidays, but it's okay for it to feel that way. And it's okay for you to feel that way. If you are in the season where everything feels off, I hope that you know that you're not doing it wrong. It's okay for it to look different than the year before. It's okay for it to look different next year. Give yourself the permission and the grace to do the best you can, because at the end of the day, that's really all you can do. May your holidays be honest. May your holidays be restful. May they be exactly what you need them to be. No more, no less. I'm really grateful you're here. I love you, dude. I'm proud of you. Happy holidays. Love you. Bye.